We graduated high school.
Abort mission.
Yeah, you guys went to high school and then came to Chris's Sigmund Freud class and just
Sigmund
went off
Freud class,
psychology on your ass.
It was good though. You know what? This was because I wanted to, the point I was trying to make
I barely
is
said
that
anything on
What
this
happened to them
podcast.
titties?
the titties. Yeah, no, I was trying to make a point that the kids today are. I think they're unfairly being treated because of the new stuff that we don't understand. There's a lot of things that we understand it because we kind of grew up with technology and we saw the progression of the graphics of video games and where it got. And we kind of get it. Like, we're lenient with the way the kids are. Like, hey, listen, like, if I had a fucking phone, I'd be doing dumb shit like that too. I don't like that, instead of looking at something and experiencing it, they're taking pictures of it. That's the part I don't like. But I like that they're trying.
To relate to
For
it.
example, you know how I was saying, if you see a kid in class that doesn't talk to anybody, he's more likely to, like, if he has a cell phone, he's more likely to, like, go on Facebook and actually make an attempt. It's harder when you're face-to-face. It's easier when you're on your phone. And that's the kids that I think this is really good for and beneficial for, because they're actually making an attempt to reach out for people.
But see, that's why the generation before us can't relate,
understand
because
that.
they had to go through that uncomfortableness
Exactly,
of
yeah.
having to have that face-to-face.
And it's just easier for them. But
and
fuck
now,
it.
no, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just telling you, but they don't understand because they look at it and they think they live as
Well,
son
I had to
weakness.
fucking
Well,
get slapped in
I
the
had
face.
I had to be embarrassed and go
Yeah.
have to have that face-to-face. Why does he get to not? Well, we have the benefit of technology.
What's the thing you try to do for your kids? You have kids. You want your kids to have a better chance at life than you did. Do you not? You don't want them to go through all the shit you went through. Why is everyone saying, fuck these kids, they do need to go through it? That's not how we are. We want the best for our children, and if our children have a step up, that's a victory in my view. That is. So
well, there's always that mentality, though, of like you want people to make certain mistakes because you'll learn from them.
Mhm.
But I think we blur that line of mistakes and what we do.
They're going to make new mistakes. They're making mistakes right now that we didn't make, like fucking posting up that they got banged by somebody on Facebook. Some girls are doing that shit, and it sucks. But you know what?
Literally.
That's a mistake that we don't understand. But don't act like you didn't make a mistake where you banged somebody you weren't supposed to bang. Let's be real. Everybody's possibly done something
Well, I think
like
the greatest example of the difference of generations, Match.com.
Match.com.
Think about
Tinder.
Think about our dad's
Tinder.
age. Generation X. They're not meeting someone
Yeah.
over technology. You're going to a bar, most likely getting rejected most
I don't
of the
think
time.
Dad's Generation X.
What is he?
I think he's.
The greatest
Oh no,
generation.
yeah, he would be Generation X.
He's
maybe.
like fringe Generation
yeah,
X,
he's right on
baby
that.
boomers,
He's right on that
maybe.
cusp of baby boomer Generation X.
But
It's
either
a
way,
melting pot of generations.
He's a mutt.
to meet someone online to him is so foreign.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even
Right,
be
to
able
go
to
on a date
conceive
with
it.
someone that you've ever seen or talked to, other than just like a little.
But it does
like,
help, dude.
Even to me, to
Pixel.
a certain degree, it kind of is foreign.
Yeah. Like if you told me, hey, you know that guy that sat in class that fucking never got to feel what love was and now he fucking hates his life? If you were to say to me, hey, you know what? He has a better chance of getting a girlfriend now because of this. I'd say, oh, hell yeah, do it, because I feel bad. I feel bad looking at him. He's so fucking depressed. I don't want to come here and kill us all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't even talk about that in high school. The kids are going through that shit with, shootings and all that stuff.
Well, see, the previous generations didn't have to deal with it at the
No.
rate that we do now.
Yeah. Shootings have been fucking
And I think
off
it's
the
a
charts.
lot because, again, and this isn't to say that we're wrong and they're right.
Yeah.
Because we're more, our generation's more accustomed to not having to have that face-to-face interaction or confrontation. Whereas if there was a problem, they had to deal with it face-to-face. Like I always hear, and it's not just from my dad, it's previous generations. Like if we had a problem, we fought, and then 10 minutes later we were good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now,
Can't do that. Can't
you come
fight.
to school and the kid just shoots everybody.
Yeah, because
There's no
they're
fight.
being there's zero tolerance.
Because they don't. Well, it's not even about that. Is they don't want to have that uncomfortable interaction. So rather than that, I'll just kill the guy. I don't want to fight him.
I don't know. I think I don't know if that's the case. There's so much. Like you have the adults shitting on kids, telling them millennials are ruining this, you're ruining that. You
Yeah,
guys
but-
will fucking
but
know what
kids-
it's like to
but
live a
kids
life
aren't
that's strong.
going around killing old people. They're going into their schools and killing their peers.
Yeah, because that's their world. The parents leave the kids to school
but-
while they go to work, and that's the only world they
all right,
know.
but how many popular kids go into the school and shoot everybody up?
Well, obviously they're not going to, because the kids that are the ones that are shooting are getting fucked up by these popular
that's
kids.
what I'm trying to say.
Uh-huh.
Is the people that do the fucking up and go in there and shoot people
Mhm.
don't want to have that social interaction with their bullies, with their peers, have a fight. They don't want to
So
face it head on.
you're
and I'm
telling
not saying
me-
they're wrong,
Uh-huh.
but that's how they're dealing with it and reacting.
But now you're telling me that, and I know for a fact I've heard this. But
Well, what he's saying is that they're disconnected.
yeah, but you got adults saying things like this. We never had feelings. We never talked about feelings. And back in my day, we didn't have those type of feelings. So now these kids have nobody to fucking talk to. They feel like there's, like, when you do that, when you snap, you feel like you have no avenue to turn to.
I'm not disagreeing,
Yeah.
but that's my point. Is that before,
I'm not going to blame technology for it, though.
I'm not blaming technology.
Well, you said that they don't want to connect because they're
Well, no,
afraid to do the uncomfortable thing.
He said
I
they
said
don't
they're
want,
more
He
disconnected.
said they're disconnected. I said they don't want to confront their peers.
Yeah.
Like if they're gonna have a fight, they don't want to. They don't want to engage in a fight, whether it's verbal or physical. They don't know, like you said, they don't know where to turn to.
Yeah.
They don't know how to react and deal with things. It's easier for them, for those individuals, to just walk into a school and kill people.
I mean, there's a lot of different factors, you know? Like, I mean, first of all, where are these kids getting these guns from? That's another thing. I didn't have any access to any guns when I was a kid. And if I did, I don't know, man. My life could have been different. You know what I mean? If I had access to guns, in New York, it's different. New York, it's fucking stingy. You can't have guns.
Yeah, but not for nothing. The majority of places where these things happen are the strictest gun laws in the country.
Florida? Florida has a stand your ground. Florida's fucking had like
That's-
7 gun shootings.
That's one instance. The
What?
Majority.
What about the gay club?
the
The
highest?
gay club,
I-
the kids, the Parkland shooting.
The highest.
know-
but the highest gun violence is in what state?
I mean, I don't want to get into the political side of it. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not getting into political. I'm just getting into actual facts.
that's not. I mean,
is that
No,
what you're
it's a
saying?
fact. Yeah,
Illinois.
well,
Chicago.
no, just
Illinois.
in the city of Chicago, but outside of
city of
Chicago,
Chicago.
I'm sure you
Well,
can get guns.
Right.
Chicago's in Illinois. So.
I'm saying the city, but I'm saying there's other places. I mean,
Yeah,
there's,
no, there's
it's just let's
absolutely.
not act like this isn't happening everywhere in the country because it is. It's happening in a
Yeah,
lot
no,
of places.
It's happening in a lot of different places.
And the kids have the access to guns, and there's just like a lot of factors, and the fact that we
as a
aren't trying
teenager-
to like
as a
talk about
teenager, a
it.
lot of
Somebody
people-
should talk about it.
Well, we are talking.
Yeah, no, I'm saying we are, but
Yeah.
who the fuck are we? We're
But I
just
mean, a
we're
lot
just
of-
guys on a podcast.
A lot of teenagers have trouble, and I don't think it's necessarily every teenager. You may think of it,
Yeah.
but I think the common thread is there's something wrong with these people.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah,
What's
I don't
wrong.
know. I don't know. That's another subject we
See,
can talk
like
about
to
in
me,
the future.
that's the bigger focus.
Yeah.
Is
It's not necessarily the guns. It's
Right,
the
like,
people doing it.
It's just
Yeah.
like no different. I could walk.
But they're
in-
kids, though, dude. We're talking about kids. They don't we just spent a whole hour or 2 hours talking about how we didn't know better when we were fucking high school.
Right, but we didn't know better. But none of us, I don't think, ever were going to go through walking into
No,
our
I never
school. And
thought
No,
killing
none of
people.
us were. But if we had access to guns, you think that some of the kids that went to our
No.
school wouldn't have done that
But
shit?
that's
There's
I know for a
possibility.
fact there
well,
was.
That's
But
what I was
that's
just
why
gonna
you
say
be
is-
nice to everybody.
That's why you're supposed to. But you think not everybody
Absolutely.
thinks like
Well,
that.
I was just
No,
going to
not
say, there's
everyone
not
does.
one of us sitting at this table that couldn't have said that they wouldn't have been shocked if there was one person they knew in high school that would have walked
Oh,
and killed
there's
everybody.
no doubt.
Yeah.
I knew one.
Oh,
I'm
I
sure
knew a
you guys-
bunch.
Right.
I knew like Guapo, man. He would have been like, "Oh, let me go fucking
Well, you
take care of
can't-
that kid."
I
You,
don't
you
think
can't kill
he
everyone with a
would've.
box cutter.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
think
you
he
can't
would've.
kill everybody with a box. No, he wouldn't have.
But
He
there were a
wouldn't
lot of goth kids in our school.
But to
There
me,
was,
that's
dude.
a
A
lot of
deeper
outcasts.
question.
Scary.
Is how do you fix the problem there? Because at the end of the day,
Like I felt safe in my school. I never thought that anybody was gonna come and kill us.
Yeah, no, I never.
I mean, I
about it
thought,
either.
dude, some of these people could, but how the fuck are they gonna get a gun?
The funny
fucking
thing is,
hell.
I was
But
more
forget
worried
about-
about. I was more worried about terrorist attacks.
Oh, they
that's- I
played
was
that
worried
up
about
real
that
big.
too.
Dude,
That's
I
what I
saw a
was really
Muslim
worried
walking
about.
outside.
But forget about guns though, because here's the difference between a gun and a knife. I'm more likely to be able to kill more people in a rapid pace with a gun than a knife.
Yeah.
But to me, one life is just as valuable as 100.
It is.
I'm not going to say that killing one person, it's like, oh, thank God it was only one person that got killed versus 100.
No.
To me, no person should die.
Nobody should. Yeah.
So to me, the deeper root is why are these people
Me
killing
and you are very.
people?
So now I
and
see
how
that
do
we
we
were
fix that?
we're very similar on that because I don't want anybody to fucking
Well,
die.
that's
yeah.
what I'm saying. But that's what my biggest problem is. Is
Yeah.
the country wants to blame guns. Guns aren't problems because if I put a gun and a knife on a table, neither one's going to do a goddamn thing unless a person picks it up and does something with it.
Mhm.
Whether if someone picks it up and cuts vegetables with it, or stabs their wife in the throat, or husband.
Oh, husband.
And then a
He's trying
gun,
to tell us
same
about
thing.
something
Whether a
like that.
gun just sits there, picks up and shoots a deer,
Uh-huh.
or shoots a 10-year-old. They're inanimate objects when they're not in the hands of a human being.
That's true. But
So-
do you think that like that human? What I'm saying is, the human being who has the knife, like for instance, Guapo, he had a knife in his hand. Nothing happened.
But he had a box cutter.
But could the box cutter accidentally go off and kill that
But
kid?
I'll tell you a story. I went on the school bus when I was in 4th grade, and there was 2 5th graders on there, and they had a gun on the bus. They didn't shoot me. They waved it around like they were
Whoa,
gonna.
I'd be off that fucking bus. And
the
you
funny
know I
thing
would.
is,
You know I
It's
would.
a great bus.
I actually,
Yeah, great bus.
I went to the principal's office. Those kids didn't even get expelled, Brian.
What? I would have used the gun on their legs. Like, I'm going to have to kneecap you for having this gun.
So you could wave around whatever you want. At the end of the day, people are a problem, and there's a problem in people,
Yeah.
and that's what we need to get to.
I mean,
Yeah.
there are certain things I don't want people to have access to, and it's like tanks and fucking drones and missiles. That's a form of gun control. Is that not? That is a form of gun control.
What?
If I go, all right, you're not allowed to have. I'm stamping it right now. You're not allowed to have a fucking tank. You're not allowed to have missiles. You're not allowed to have a fucking Iron Man suit. That's a form of gun control. And people don't say that is, but it is. Is it not?
To a certain
That's
degree. That's a little
firepower.
different than
It is a little.
handgun.
You're saying it's a little different, but now, do you think that people should have access to fucking AK-47s and fucking?
I see what you're saying. It
war
opens
weapons?
the door to maybe
It's kind of like the gateway gun. It's the
Yeah.
It's the gateway gun.
marijuana, the gateway drug.
Marijuana, the gateway drug. Now you have a fucking
But
Uzi
I think we're so mesmerized with people that are self-destructive,
that we
and
forget.
then you take it another
Yeah.
degree where people are destructive of other people.
Yeah.
Like, who goes in and shoots innocent people that
Pieces
have
of
never
shit.
done anything to them?
Well, you got to remember, how did they get there? How did
That's
they
what
get
I'm
to that
saying.
moment?
You don't-
right?
But
But
that's
nobody
the
cares
point.
to ask.
But that's my
Yeah.
point, is we need to be delving into the real issue. Is how do these people go from I'm a citizen one day going to school to next day I'm killing everyone
It's
in
because,
school?
and I think it's because people are so preoccupied with working so much. They have to work all the fucking time. Think about it. People are working like 50 hours. Or I hear people saying this constantly. I want to get more hours, because I want to get that overtime. And I'm like, that means you already at the least are working 40 hours,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to get like a couple extra hours of overtime. And it's like, what
they're
the
money
fuck?
motivated.
No, it's because they're not getting paid as much, but they know when they hit overtime, they're going to get paid a little more. And it's because they're getting paid
Time
shit.
and a half.
Time and a half. So it's
But I think what Chris is saying is the
Yeah.
symptom of the issue is them going in and shooting people.
Yeah.
What's
The
the
symptom of
actual
the issue is not the
What's the
what they
actual
use to
issue?
commit
What's
the
the
crime.
actual
It's the
problem?
crime.
okay. What do you think the issues are?
Obviously, it's something to do with mental.
You think it's
It-
mental?
It has to be
But
mental.
no, because now that goes with the joke.
Do you
I'm
think
going to
that-
use the Joker's analogy.
Do you think a normal person goes in and wants to shoot people? No, I think people every now and then have the thoughts of killing themselves, but it's a whole nother degree to think, I want to kill this person who's never done anything to me. I've never
But I
seen them in
think-
my life. I just want them to feel as miserable as I do.
Okay, so the point I'm trying to make is what the Joker said. He said, madness is a lot like gravity. All it needs is a little push. Which means, and he proves it. He proves it with Harvey Dent. He says, any one of us is capable of being me. And I'm going to prove it. And people say it's a problem with mental health. But if you could be a normal standing citizen, right? And some crazy shit happens to you today and it
Mhm.
fucking breaks you, how could we have known that mental health was the reason? We would just know. If we were there, we would know.
But that's
Now you have access to a gun, and that's it. All hell breaks
So
loose.
I've watched Joe Rogan podcast with Jordan Peterson,
Uh-huh.
who is a teacher at the University of Toronto for philosophy.
Okay.
And you think, like, let's say Nazi, right?
Terrible people.
They're terrible people, but
Some are good.
But let's think of this. You're in the same situation. You know you're going to be killed and your family's going to be killed if you don't join this group. Do you join it or not?
No.
It's
Goes against
Yeah,
my
but
day.
it's easy for you to say no
It's easy
now.
for you to say, but let's say, hypothetically speaking, you had a child, right?
Mm.
They said, we're going to skin your child right in front of you if you don't become a Nazi.
I mean, I guess I have no choice at that point.
That's the thing.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not that far of a reach to think of yourself as a Nazi.
Yeah.
And I think to a certain degree, I said it. I'm a hypocrite.
Yeah.
I would say, oh, I'd never kill anybody, but I've never been in the situation maybe that they feel they're in.
Yeah.
Because your perspective is your reality.
Yeah, and that's the point I'm trying to make. Is like yo,
Perception
you
is
can't
reality.
tell
Yeah.
who's got a mental illness
Well, Brian-
until the day comes where
Brian,
he
it
snaps.
it goes back to the niche thing, right? Is you said, why do I go to niche? I go to niche because now there's other people I have to worry about. So Matt says, like, if they were like, be a Nazi or you die. All right, maybe I'm 50-50 on, you know what? Maybe that day I feel like I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stand on my moral high ground and I die and it is what it is. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. But if I got to watch there and watch my kid be skinned because I'm not going to do this, maybe I'm going to do it.
All right, so I got another example. Let's say us three and we're in a room, and there's like 2 other people in there, and they throw a knife in there, and they say whoever has the knife is in charge.
Okay,
Somebody grabs the
Campbell.
knife.
I already have it.
So somebody,
dark knife.
okay, no, I'm saying, let's say us 3, we don't have the knife, but the other person has the knife. I would probably look at you guys and go, guys, we could take him. I'll take the knife, or I'll take the stab. You guys fucking knock him out. We'll win this, and we will.
And you'll bleed to death.
I might bleed, whatever. I'll fucking bleed, whatever. We're still gonna get the knife from this guy, but now replace the knife with a gun. He's got the gun. We're at his mercy. That's the difference. He's got more power over us with the gun than he does the knife.
Well, no,
and I
that's
think
the-
with great power comes great
Yeah,
responsibility.
but no, you're right in a sense because there's a chance, but it's all psychological. And again, it goes back to perception. Because in the reality is, there's no way he gets off 3 shots before one of us gets him.
One of us is definitely going to die.
There's one- well, not
But with the
necessarily
knife,
true.
one of us doesn't necessarily have
Not
to die.
necessarily
Severely
true. 'Cause I'll
injured.
tell you why.
Severely. We cut my dick off.
While it is easier for him
Uh-huh.
to wield the knife into a place where he knows he's going to hurt you,
Like did the
he
jugular.
may have terrible accuracy. Because I have news for you. I've shot a gun. It is not as easy as you think it is.
Well, I've shot a gun too. It's pretty cool.
Okay, to hit something 10 yards away, it looks really easy in a movie when Mel Gibson
Now, the
50
guy's-
yards away
here's the
hitting
thing.
hitting a guy off
The
like a
guy is
bridge.
pointing it at us. You think we're more likely to go, let's charge him?
No, but I'm not disagreeing. It's all mental. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
That there's no doubt he has more
It's
mental,
the power that brings you.
but it's more mental power. At the end of the day, let's just use the logic. Let's take away the mental aspect of
Uh-huh.
it. Logic says he's going to probably, more than likely, the odds would say he's going to kill one of us.
Mhm.
The other 2 are going to survive as a result. We don't know which one is going to die.
Yeah.
But it's all mental. Because at the knife, you're saying, yeah, maybe he stabs one of us, maybe we live when we die.
We
and
can
we're all in the same
we can
boat.
take care of the situation. We're more likely to
It's-
think we
We
can.
mentally think
Yeah.
it's more feasible. There's no doubt.
Now, if a guy has a gun, I'm like, we're fucked.
I'm so competitive. I think I could do it.
He punches the bullets out of the air like, what do you think you could do? You could stop us?
My hamstrings are so powerful. There's no doubt I could easily juke him. Maybe give him some Matt karate moves from It's Always Sunny
Or
in
no,
Philadelphia.
I was just thinking, we go, all right, Matt, where's Matt? He was like, fuck you guys, I'm out. I have
very
strong
genius.
hamstrings. I jumped my way out of this situation.
Dude, I Barry Sanders my way out of this.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept. I think that
Listen, there's a lot of bad done with guns,
yeah.
but in those bad situations, there's a lot of times when there's someone that legally should have that gun, stops the perpetrator with a gun.
I don't know, man. I'm 50-50
Well, that's the
on that
problem
one.
is you
yeah.
don't know.
I'm
So
50-50,
I would like
yeah.
you to do some research,
Yeah.
because I have. No, and I'm not talking about by the news, because listen, you're going to look at the news, and there's one half the news is going to tell you guns are bad, they kill babies, even unloaded behind a glass
Mhm.
case. And then there's the other half that's going to be like, no, guns are all good, they kiss the baby.
Yeah.
Look at statistics, look at the situations, read case studies, all that stuff.
We might have to
Do
revisit this
research.
one because this is a huge issue that people are talking about, and it's all we see is the aftermath.
But again,
I think
I'll
there's
go back to a
hypocrites on
point-
both sides.
I'll go.
It's both sides have problems.
I'll go back to one of the original points we made, focusing on good versus bad. Very easy to focus on all the negatives.
Yeah.
Would you say the majority of gun owners kill people or shoot people or do bad?
They're not the ones that kill him, but the odds are increased if that something could happen
All right.
with
well,
a gun.
Say
We're
that
not-
one more time.
He
the
said
majority of legal gun owners do bad.
No,
No,
it wouldn't
No,
be
it's
the
because a
impossible.
very small percentage of just humanity uses
Yeah.
a gun to hurt people in the grand scheme of things.
yeah.
So, but again, we focus on the bad. We do that as a society in everything, whether we're talking about guns.
Uh-huh.
Specifically with news too.
Right.
There's more so negative
Here's the
stories than
thing.
positive
This is
stories.
all right. So when I was in St. Louis, I have a friend over there. He owns guns, and he's a very responsible person with the guns. And he took me to a gun range. There's a ton of people there who had their own guns. It's very safe. They have so many rules in place to say if you fuck around even a little, you're out of here. You're banned, and everybody will come down hard on you.
But that's respect.
It's respect,
Right.
And when I was there, I felt safe. You know, there was a fucking woman walking around checking to see if we're like, you fuckers doing anything. Now every 5 minutes, stop shooting, put your guns down, let us go back and see if everything's good because we don't want anything out of place, whatever. A lot of fucking regulations, and I loved it because it made me feel safe because I'm fucking terrified. I'm not around these many guns very often, and when I heard them going off, they sound like explosions. I'm like, I'm gonna die. But all I was thinking is, these guys are so fucking respectful. They care about, they respect each other, and they care about each other's safety. But if this got into someone else's hands,
Yeah, but you know
we're
what the,
fucked.
But you know what the thing is, though, Brian. But that's my point.
Yeah.
Is the real problem is the hands they're in,
Mhm.
because it's just as easy for one of those guys
No, but
that
you-
you
no,
were
no.
around that day to have snapped and
Uh-huh.
start killing everyone.
But no,
in
no,
there.
you missed the point that I was going to try to make.
Go ahead, make it.
Any one of these people, if they had a fucking bad day, like I was trying
That's
to
what he
say.
That's
said.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's
That's what he
the
just said.
odds are just as easy for one of those guys to have just been his wife. He just found her cheating. He was going.
Oh,
to a
everybody's
gun
dead.
range,
Everybody's
goes to
dead.
yeah, but okay. But my point is, what you experienced happens on a daily basis at that range, and yet nothing ever happens.
Well, you don't know that because there's a lot of there's like a gun violence in St. Louis. It's the most violent city
Well,
in the
listen
in the
to-
country.
listen
That was
to
the
what I-
podcast
but-
that I was talking about with Joe Rogan and
Uh-huh.
Jordan Peterson. You're not as far from them as you think you are.
Yeah.
All it takes is one bad moment in your
That's
life.
my-
and you
it's
can make a
scary,
terrible
dude. It's
decision.
fucking scary.
And that's what he
but
was
that's
saying
what
as
I'm
well.
trying to say, because now you're 100% right. They
Yeah.
could, but
Like I don't think my friend would do
nothing
anything. He's
ever
a good guy.
happened at that range. Like I'm sure if you did some research, nothing's ever happened where there was a mass shooting at that range.
No, I'm not
Okay.
saying at the no, and I'm saying these guys go home
But that's
with all
my
that.
point. Is you're just as like those people could end up being a part of a crime or whatever. But who's to say they don't snap at that range?
Oh fuck! Imagine if that shit happened. Well, everybody
Well, it
would
did.
murder that
It's-
guy.
it's
They would have
American
killed him.
Sniper.
But
right?
sometimes that's almost where you
Oh,
don't
yeah,
expect
yeah.
it. Is you're there, and no one expects it because you're like, oh, I'm at a gun range. No one's gonna just.
Why would you shoot someone
Why
at a
would you
gun,
shoot
Gun
someone?
range, you're getting
Everyone
fucking
else
ki-
has
they're
guns.
gonna kill you.
What
yeah.
if someone just walked in there and started blowing you away?
Well,
Yeah.
American Sniper, didn't he kill him at a gun range?
Yeah, they were at targets practice.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fucking crazy, man.
But
that's
you think
fucking
about
crazy.
it.
But there was some PTSD involved in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as far as hypocritical views,
Mhm.
right? You look at the left, they don't want the death sentence, but they're willing to abort babies. And then on the right, they're willing to have the death sentence, but they don't want to abort babies.
It's so
It just
weird. It's
depends
such
on
a
the
weird
It
concept.
depends on the situation,
Yeah.
whether they're willing to quote unquote kill a person or not.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I think that having these discussions are like it's like talking philosophy. When I was talking philosophy with Josh,
That's kind of loaded, though. I will say a little bit.
what do you mean?
I get what he's trying to say, but I'm
No,
just gonna play devil's advocate.
Uh-huh.
No, that's the most basic way of
No,
looking at
it
it.
No,
is.
it is very basic.
But the left
I got it,
in that
and I'm
particular-
dumb.
But the left in that particular example,
They
is
don't see it as a baby.
Is standing up for someone who's committed a crime.
Oh, for
versus
example,
a person who's never even committed an act
yeah.
outside of just being conceived.
But they're, as far as the left is concerned, they're looking at it as if that person isn't a person yet,
Right.
technically.
And they're looking, and then the others are looking at that guy's not a person anymore because he's a piece of shit. We got to take him out.
He did a bad deed, so he's
No.
given his right to live.
It's not just a bad deed; it's the worst type
The
of
worst
deed you can do.
You
Yeah,
you're
you're not a human anymore at that
you
point.
killed someone else, therefore you've given your right to live.
Yeah.
At that point, but the left doesn't see.
I
it.
have
Why
a-
don't we just
I have
drop-
a better. I have a better hypocritical
Yeah.
example. I have a better one. It's
Go
actually
for
and it's actually against the right.
Go for
Whoa! Hey,
Well, because I'll actually
Fair and balanced.
fair and balanced
Yeah.
over here. Hey,
Because,
Boston
well,
Red Sox.
I'm just being honest because Matt's example on the surface seems very good, but when you really
Yeah,
look
well,
at
I
it,
was giving the most basic.
no, it is
view that you
very
can
basic.
absolutely
But I
like.
don't try to be basic. I'm very like psychological.
Psychological.
So-
There we go.
Pretty
You
bad.
look at Muslims are very eye for an eye, right? Okay, but would
I
you
don't
say-
know. I
No,
have no-
I'm telling you.
Oh,
If
okay.
If you
I-
look at their religion,
This is a fact.
Brian,
Yeah.
I don't want to point this out on the podcast, but you're very uneducated. So
I'm a moron. If anybody's listening,
You gotta
I think they could tell.
you have a lot of opinions
They could
that,
tell.
that are very CNBC, MSNBC. And
I don't watch TV.
CNN.
I don't watch TV
You don't need to. They're given to you, and you don't realize.
Yeah.
I'm telling you where they're coming from.
when I'm sleeping.
It's those Yelp reviews.
Those Yelp reviews, I keep
Those-
reading them. They
those-
snick them in there. Oh,
All
damn
right,
it.
wait.
No, but anyway,
Say
so
your
the
example.
right is very like he just said. They're like let's kill whatever.
Uh-huh.
So, but they're against Muslims,
Uh-huh.
right? Like, oh, Muslim this, can't let them in. But Muslims kind of share a lot of similar views in that respect, where it's like, because again,
Yeah.
the whole death penalty is very eye for an eye
Yep.
outlook, right? Like they committed a crime now where they're not that they're not a human, but they've done something so bad where the way to get even is to take their life.
Mhm.
Well, Muslims are very much the same way. Whether it's cutting off a hand, gouging out an eye, or killing people, stoning them. So I'm just saying, that's kind of very hypocritical. Is on one side, they're barbaric. We can't let them in. We can't do
Disgusting.
this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They're not human beings.
That's not right though. There are people. I can't stand
Well, listen,
that.
they are people.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give a personal opinion or anything on that. Is what I think
Yeah.
it's despicable to do
It's
any of
fucked
that
up.
stuff.
Yeah.
Killing people, to me, the only way you should kill a person is if it's self-defense. If they're going to take your life, you have no choice but then to do what you have to do.
Absolutely.
That's-
That's the self-defense thing.
That's my
Yeah.
personal
Yeah.
opinion.
But we're not. Yeah, but we're not talking about self-defense. We're talking about fucking. You did something. You're gonna be in jail, and then when the time comes, we have to kill you because of the
Like,
thing
oh,
you
my
did.
wife showed her face, stoner.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
that happens.
yeah, that's fucking crazy too. But that's
Well,
radicalism.
it's like it's
That's
situation.
radical.
Well, I know, but
situation.
my point was that's at the right. Like,
Not
he
all
just
Muslims
said
are like
it-
that though. Some Muslims. There's the radical Muslims,
No,
and then there's the
100%.
fucking Muslims that are like, oh yeah, that shit, that's crazy.
That's in every religion, though.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I said more. It happens in the Middle East.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
here, not
Well,
here.
it does happen here
So,
because
like,
those
but-
people do come here, and that does happen.
But not to the extent that it happens over there, where everybody comes
Well,
together
no,
and goes, all right,
because
ready, stoner.
obviously there's a much smaller percentage of those people in a much more dense population
Yeah.
here than there, where there's a higher majority of them within a population.
I don't know much about the Muslim thing. I will research the shit out of that. We can revisit that.
But as far as the death sentence is concerned, it's state by state.
Mhm.
New York doesn't believe in the death sentence, but in South Carolina,
And
the
Texas.
Charleston shootings,
Texas.
the Charleston shootings,
Yeah.
where that kid Dylan something,
Dylan shithead Roof. He's a piece
Exactly,
of shit.
yes.
I fucking hate that kid.
so he was sentenced to death. So he's on death row right now.
I wouldn't even sentence him to death. I would go, you know what? You're going to Alaska.
Although
you got to live there for a
the-
couple of years.
The funny thing is,
Alaska's beautiful. in
the
summer,
more,
though.
the more extreme Muslim instances where you were talking about in other countries,
Uh-huh.
it is a lot less here than in Europe. And I will make some sort of correlation. Is Europe is a lot more strict on their gun laws than America.
What about in Australia too? Australia is like fucking the
Well,
strictest.
Australia was
Australia.
founded on, let's take every person that belongs in jail and just make a country and we'll call it Australia.
Yeah, we need. Well, just because have you seen the environment they live in? It's like there's fucking crocodile, crocky. Oh my god, we need strong guys here.
Well, the majority of Australia is wildlife.
Yeah, it's just fucking
It's like
in the
not
scariest
usable
fucking
land,
kind of.
yeah.
It's like the worst fucking animals you can think of live in Australia. So they go, clearly we should just drop off all the murderers over there because they can survive. Hopefully,
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck if they do or not.
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, good luck.
So the place that we live, it's bears. But imagine like a lion could come out, or a crocodile, or a rhino, or elephant.
I'd have
Who
a fucking
knows?
lightsaber on me at all times.
That wouldn't work.
Yeah, no. All right, so this has been a pretty interesting podcast. We dove into quite a few
Dove into high
topics.
school really.
That's high school for you in a nutshell.
We were supposed to like relive high school, and then we
Yeah.
relived
Here's
everything
the-
else. But
I think you know what? Actually, this is a good reflection of what you have to deal with in high school because it's real for them.
yeah, you got idiots like Brian that don't know anything. And
Yeah,
then
you
you
got
have
me.
Matt,
Yeah.
and then you have the teacher, me.
Well, I was talking about the fact that kids all right, they don't care about the politicking of the right of having a gun or not. They don't give a fuck about that. They're just kids. They're just terrified that a kid may come in and shoot them. That's what their reality is. And all they see is outside people just yelling at each other instead of turning to them and go, we're going to fix this. Nobody's telling them that. They're just saying, fucking fuck you, what, fuck me, fuck you. And the kids are like, well, did you guys come up with the plan yet? And we're like, shut up.
So
Fucking
the funny
kids.
thing is, the people that teach them though have their own agendas and
Yeah.
their own beliefs.
That's another thing.
so the
Ooh.
kids are really tainted based
That's
on the
another
teacher
problem,
that
yeah.
they have,
Yeah.
which I
it's
think
crazy.
is a lot of the issue now.
Yeah. Because then it's bigger than ever. It's bigger than ever.
Well, I mean,
They should have us teach classes.
If you're young and you don't have your own perspective on things because you never lived in quote unquote the real world,
yeah.
you're only going to be taught that.
Yeah.
So your teachings of someone else's perspectives now becomes your views.
Yeah.
Well, it goes back to what we said.
That's
You
why I
really
ignored all the teachers.
You only know your own knowledge, which is the information that you're provided.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Exactly.
fucking people in like Alabama are probably assholes. And I think people in New York
Not
are smarter,
necessarily
but I
all
could be
of them.
wrong. I could
Lovely
be wrong.
people. Absolutely lovely.
Yeah, I could be wrong. Maybe people in Alabama know more shit about things than I do, and they probably do because I don't
Well,
know anything.
That's the thing. You try not to stereotype.
Yeah.
And everyone
It's hard to because some stereotypes are
because that's the
hilarious.
information that you've gotten.
Like for instance, and I don't mean to sound like racist, but if like, and this is a thing that Louis C.K. said that I thought was hilarious. He's like, it's called mild racism. Like if I walk into a doctor's office and the doctor walks in and they're Indian, I'm like, good, more of that. I need more of that because Indians are gonna be better at this. I hope, and or when he's around a black guy, he's like, everything's fine. That's fine. Everything's gonna be okay. Why would I even think anything would be wrong? And it's like, well, that's hilarious because there is some. And like, if I see fucking, like for me, if somebody said, Brian, you're Mexican, so your dad must be a landscaper. I'm like, God damn it, he's right about one of them. Son of a
Guess it's not a
bitch.
stereotype.
I guess not, but you know, some of them are funny, and I get it. Just stereotyping, and I don't want to think that people from like the South are dumb because they're not. There's a lot of fucking and I love their accents. They're like fucking Yosemite Sam, or like what in tarnations? Like that's hilarious to me, and I think they're cute. It's cute. It's a cute way. And some of the Southern girls, like when they have their little Southern accents, I find that sexy. Accents are sexy, so they got that over me.
I like the way you talk.
Yeah,
We have an accent to certain people.
You try to make a joke, Bobby. All right. So on that note, comment below for any of the shit that we just talked about. Make sure to like the video if you liked what you heard.
We were supposed to review Home Alone, but
We did.
never
We're not going to review Home Alone. Fuck that movie.
Let's actually look for a movie though.
We should. Give me some comments on movies we should start to review because we're going to review some more movies. I'm going to let Chris do a plug real quick.
Yeah, one last plug.
The plugger.
Fantastic job again to the Warwick Valley Winery.
Yep.
Doc's Draft, pear hard apple cider.
Hard apple
great
cider.
American cider.
The great. We've drank a lot of them. That's why we can't even say it.
Time out. We grow apples. We know cider. Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. T.S. Eliot.
All right. So.
And Tito's a man's best friend.
Man's best friend. So if you like the video, like I said, like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, on Facebook. We got a Facebook page. We're gonna put our content up on SoundCloud. We got an Instagram account. Twitter. Yeah, I said it.
All social media.
But yeah, that was the show that you've been listening to, the Free Bridge podcast. That was me and the Felicos talking stuff. We'll see you next week.